Welcome to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Antigua. With me, like always, is Noah Bailey. So, the first thing I want to talk at you about is the fact that I think I told you this. My roommate and I are currently watching through the Daredevil show.
Yes.
And man, that show is good. like,
Correct.
like, obviously, the new Daredevil Born Again show is coming out in March. So, yeah, I wanted to watch at least a good amount of it leading up to it. And, it's one of those things where you hear a lot of people on Twitter say that it's really good, but you can never really trust. Like, I feel like it's the comic book Twitter is either, everything is the best thing ever or everything absolutely sucks. And,
Yes.
you only really ever hear the loudest opinions. So I was like, oh, all these people are saying it's the greatest show ever made, but clearly it can't be that good. It is that good. And I think the thing that impressed me the most about this show is the most recent episode we watched. I believe it's episode 9 or 10 of season 1. It's the one where Foggy finds out that Matt Murdock is Daredevil. And there's maybe 30 seconds worth of an action scene during the middle of that episode. But the rest of the episode is just either flashbacks to Foggy and Matt meeting or just them you know, talking and crying at each other for almost an hour. And it's amazing.
Great. I mean, that's the thing. Like, when you really, really write characters well, they can just be sitting in a room talking, not doing anything, and it's like peak television. Like
Mhm.
that's how you know you've really got your characters down.
Yes. It was so fascinating just how hooked I was on these characters and interactions. Karen just entered the scene so naturally. I felt like I already had been following these guys for years. It was just felt so natural just to incorporate yourselves into their lives, and that's just really good, especially considering the main thing I'm comparing it to is some of the CW shows, and I feel like
That
even
aren't.
Flash at its best didn't really get dialogue the best a lot of the
No.
time.
And the thing too about like a lot of the CW show too, I feel like there was a lot of like character inconsistencies. Like characters
Mm,
like would just be weird one season because it had to like support the plot. Like I know,
mm.
especially with Flash, I know like Iris and Cisco especially had a lot of
Oh yeah,
seasons where they were just like, oh, this season Cisco's just a jerk for no reason, and
just
then he goes back
mopey
to
and sad for
yeah,
no
it's like
what?
he's like the most upbeat character, and like, but only for this season, he's like super negative. And then Iris, like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, very sporting, and out of nowhere, yeah, no, just completely different character for like a season and a half, just to like
Mm,
prove a point.
sure.
But yeah,
Uh,
anyway, but yeah,
yeah, but that only earns the dialogue and characters really good. The action scenes are, in fact, really, really good. The previous episode was the one where Matt and Nobu, the red ninja guy, were fighting in that warehouse. And it's an absolutely incredible fight that they kind of cut to throughout the episode. And like how it's not fair for the show to do action scenes and then the next one episode be pretty much an entire long action scene and the next episode be nothing but talking and both are equally good.
yeah, because they can do both. They understand that like you don't have to like when a show has to force action scenes to keep it watchable, like they're not doing it right. Like this show does a
Yeah.
great job of knowing no matter whether it's people kicking people through walls or just having a really sit down and chat, if it's written well, if it's well understood, the actors know the motivations of their characters well, it's
Mhm.
choreographed well, like and not just like choreographing fights, choreographing like choreographing just sit down conversation. Like you said, like Karen just walks in naturally, like everything just kind of feels like like a real conversation. Like these characters feel like real people. Like you're
Hmm.
obviously not in it, but you feel like you're in it with them. You're like, oh, like someone's like, you're really into it. Like somebody says something and you immediately know how someone else is going to respond. Like you know that person.
Yeah, and I think it is absolutely like this idea is comes to a peak with Kingpin.
Mm.
Like just the writing for Wilson Fisk is so I'm gonna say spectacular. Like
Oh.
almost every line he says, because you're used to Kingpin just having this, literally being larger than life, having this commanding voice, like everyone just like immediately falls to his whim. But I kind of like how in this show he yes, he like does put on this persona of being very commanding, but like there's just a little hint of like insecurity, a little hint of like I'm not sure if this is like if if he even he believes he's fully in control, or if that's just like what like a persona he's putting on. But I think it just makes him feel like more of a real character.
Yeah.
Like for example, in the most recent episode, he's like he's a speaker at this like big ball, and he's basically giving his like proto mayoral pitch speech. I don't think he's like planning on running yet, but that's like kind of like his pitch, to make the city greater, and just like yeah, he sounds very confident, but just there's a little hint of just like he's not used to speaking in big crowds, so it doesn't come off like quite as confident as I think he believes it does. But I think that just makes him feel like more of a real character, especially now that we know either episode 1 to 4, we know where he came from, and I think also the parallels between um, like Kingpin waking up every day staring at that painting, which makes him remember his childhood, and then also when Matt was gearing when it showed him gearing up to go to that warehouse, like his Daredevil outfit or his current like black outfit is in a chest below his dad's boxing gear. Like both of them have this ritual of like remembering their past in order to
Hmm.
go that day. That's I think very good writing.
Yeah. And I think that's good because it's like, it kind of like I know we always parallel Avatar, but it just reminds me
Mm-hmm.
of like with the duality with like Aang and Zuko, even though they're so different, they have such similar like, oh, they're people who are, the lats of this or kind of an outcast for one reason or another, and then they kind of have this journey. It's like it kind of
Mm,
shows them kind of mirrors of each other and in the same way, even though they're on completely opposite sides of this conflict.
yeah.
Matt and Wilson have this kind of shared duality of how they're driven.
Mm. Like they both fully believe that what they are doing is for the good of the city.
Right.
Obviously, both going about it very different ways, and I like that.
Be a dude. Yeah, it's some of the best superhero stuff just in general. Like it's just really well done. Everything feels so like it's so well choreographed, so groundbreaking. Like it's so like grounded, like everything feels so real, but at the same time,
Mm,
it's like, man, this is like this feel like obviously like other than like Matt and others having like powers, you're like this feels very real.
uh-huh. Yeah, I'm very excited to keep watching. Like a part of me, like because I'm so impressed with this show, and I know that not all the people who are making this show are making Born Again. A part of me is kind of scared going from this into the next show. I was like, you, you kind of have to directly compare them, and I'm afraid of the
Yeah.
quality potentially going down. So we'll see what happens.
I again, like I know you said you weren't watching the trailers for like spoiler reasons, which
Mm.
yeah, that's fair. But I mean, again, from what I saw, I mean, it looks like they're picking up right where they left off for the most part. I mean, just it's still violent, so don't worry about that.
uh So yeah, that's really good. I know I talked to you a little bit before that the new Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show
Mhm.
came out recently. I've only seen the first episode, but I'm way more impressed with that than I thought I would be. Uh, the animation style is I thought would kind of I thought I wouldn't like it. I thought it would look dated, even though it's coming out this year. Like I thought it would look like something from the early 2000s, but I got over it very quickly. I just it's I think very well done, especially for the style, like comic book to just show that basically trying to really feel like a comic book. I think it's doing that very well.
Mhm. Yeah, like kind of like you said, like that like comic book page on the screen kind of thing, which is always
Mm,
so interesting because again, it's kind of a style that's new and it's like, oh, I've never seen it look quite like this. And it almost like, for a while it kind of hurts initially. You're like, oh, wait a minute. But then like, like you said, once you get used to it, it's like, oh yeah, I can see this working. And I'm
yeah.
excited. I feel like it's gonna like push the envelope for like comic book
Mm,
shows, animation, potentially more movies, and who sees.
yeah. Like there definitely are certain moments where like Peter and somebody are talking, and just the background is just a static picture, and they're the only like the two people you're focused on are the only ones moving. But if you but like you're not supposed to focus on the background, so I don't really care. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah. I at least prefer that to something like Invincible season one, where there were a lot of scenes where like Invincible flying around or fighting somebody in the background. There's like CG people running away. That's more jarring than in a CG show. People not moving in the background. Like at least it's the same art style all the way through. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that people are at least are willing to give the show a chance because I am okay with because we've had so many different Spider-Man shows now. Um, I'm okay with them changing a couple of things here and there. So I'm okay. I'm perfectly fine with them doing their own original take on this character and world. So I'm curious to see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just we'll see where it goes. Yeah, I'm excited. Just again, whenever it's good Spider-Man or just hero content, you're like, yeah, more. So we'll see. I know Spider-Man shows are very up and down sometimes, so we'll see where
Mm,
this one lands. But so far
yeah,
so good, I assume. So I'll take that.
yeah. Like Spider-Man shows are either one of the greatest shows you've ever seen or really annoying. And so far, this hasn't annoyed me yet. So I'm hoping it'll be really good. Just the precipitous drop in quality between spectacular and ultimate is is astounding. Like I don't know how they
Hmm.
managed that. And then that other Marvel Spider-Man is even more annoying somehow. So, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't get annoying.
Yeah, I doubt it.
All right. Moving on. Xbox had their like beginning of the year. They call it a developer direct, which I think is almost sue worthy because like it's a presentation where you show games directly to the audience. Like that Nintendo called it that literally 14 years ago, but whatever.
I mean,
Gets the point across, but still, you couldn't think of any other names. um, so yeah, they had this developer direct, and there's three main games I want to talk about. There were I think five total games talked about. I want to really bring up three. One being um, the Ninja Gaiden franchise has been pretty much dormant for over
while.
at least a decade now. Because
More than that, I'm pretty sure.
Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge came out in 2012. Actually, with the launch game for the Wii U, which no one bought, but whatever. And then it all released later on other systems. Um, And then I don't think there was another one, not even like a 2D one or anything, until uh, a new 2D one called Ragebound was announced at the Game Awards last month. And then earlier this month, a new 3D action, uh, action slasher, just straight up called Ninja Gaiden 4 was announced. Co-developed by Platinum Games. Like, that's awesome. They know what they're doing when it comes to action games. Like, you got my attention there. Um, and yeah, like you know, if you even know anything about Ninja Gaiden or just the concept of, playing as a ninja and just fighting other ninjas,
Mhm.
and you watch the trailer, it's like, wow, I really, really want to play that game. And I appreciate this trailer kind of doing a bait and switch where like the first like 2/3 of the trailer they're showing you run around as this new character. I don't remember his name. And like, he's doing a lot of cool things like, oh, I play Ninja Gaiden because I want to play as Ryu Hayabusa. I know that guy. I like his design, but then, you know, at one point in the trailer, like Ryu literally comes out of nowhere and like attacks him. Like, oh, you do get to play as Ryu. Like you can play as either one. Like that's cool. Like I like that. Um, so yeah, like after over a decade of nothing, two Ninja Gaiden games were announced basically back to back. In both styles coming out this year. That's really cool.
Yeah, I
And
was good.
oh, and I'd say in fact it's even cooler because not only are there those two games, they also shadow dropped a remake of Ninja Gaiden 2, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black that day. Just for anybody that has Game Pass or anybody that has a current gen system could just play it that day. That's really cool.
Dude, I mean I always love it when like the games that people have loved just make a resurgence because it has been, yeah, I think forever. I mean, basically
Hmm.
since this game's back. Because I mean, I kind of forgot about these games. I was like,
Right?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, they're back and they look and yeah, when you have announced two games in the span of a couple months, you're like, yeah, this franchise is back, which is
Yes.
huge.
Absolutely. And it's not even a thing where they have this little like smaller game to kind of test the waters to see how people feel about the franchise and then make a bigger one. Like, no, we're committing to both. And kind of three at the same time. Like, oh, sure, they're committed to this franchise. Like, I really hope it's working out for them because the reception towards the remake, with it being free on Game Pass, I have played a little bit of it. Um, where I can see people are generally, pretty fond of it. I will say the you can you can tell this game was made for the PlayStation 2, or at least if not made for the PlayStation 2, it was like made in that era where like the camera is just like a little hard to control. The enemy does like attack pattern feels hard in a way that, let me put it this way. You know how back in the day it felt like hard games were just, they're just gonna throw a bunch of enemies at you all at once and just good luck. It seems like games are more like meticulous about like about it, especially ever since like Dark Souls became big. Um, I feel like the hardness of the game is different now. This game very much has that old school style of gameplay, and like in a way I can't appreciate it, but also like after playing for a couple hours I can kind of see how why we evolved past like that kind of challenge. And like that's kind of why I appreciate them bringing in Platinum Games to make the new one, because I think they do a very good balance of, yes, these games are challenging, but if you can get really good at these games, like you can feel awesome doing all these combos and like aerial attacks and just, yeah, I think Platinum Games will treat that franchise very well. Um, So yeah, I'm excited just to try a little more of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, and then wait for I think they said this fall for Ninja Gaiden 4. So sweet.
Let's do it.
The game I'm even more excited for is Doom: The Dark Ages. Um, I adore Doom 2016, and then Doom Eternal is possibly like I don't know if it's a top 10, but it is like it is one of my all-time favorite games. That game just makes you feel so powerful with every single like way you can take out enemies. Every single weapon just feels very good to use. Um, the enemies are even like bigger and like kind of more challenging, but I feel in a way that is more fair. The exploration in Doom Eternal is a lot more rewarding than it was in Doom 2016. Um, and I just think that game just was a even though I like Doom 2016, I think it's a very good Doom game. Doom Eternal, I think, took everything that that Doom 2016 did and just every single thing about it, I think, is an improvement. And Doom: The Dark Ages seems to kind of be like, yes, we peaked with this game. There's no reason to like. There's nothing we can really do to like make it better. So we're gonna kind of pivot to making this game feel more like the traditional Doom game back in the 90s. And I think that's fair because the Doom 2016 and Eternal, those games kind of more so encourage you to like do a lot of like double jumps and like dodging and like collecting power ups in order to keep going. Whereas the original Doom games, you enter a room and you just shoot until there's nothing left. And that can also feel very satisfying. So for Doom: The Dark Ages, like they literally said like the goal for this game is to just make you enter a room and then you're forced to stand and fight until there's nothing left. And like yeah, and
So cool.
yeah, and the little like gameplay segment they showed was just this long like big area of just rows and rows of demons, and you just went in there and just obliterated all of them. Um, One little thing that I think I'm gonna miss about Doom Eternal is um, in Doom 2016 and especially Doom Eternal, they have this mechanic where after you take out all an enemy's health, if you press some button, you like kind of go towards them and do some. They call it a glory kill, where you like do some special like you like rip their head off or like do some or like snap their neck or like some or like blast them in the face. Something that just is unique to that kind of enemy. Um, and it can kind of like take like it can kind of ruin the flow of your combat a little bit, but also just makes you feel that much more powerful to be like, oh, you took down this giant demon and then your glory kill is you like cutting its legs in half and then slicing it down the middle. Like that's really cool. um, this game, Doom: The Dark Ages, it seems to be a more generic like you you take them out, they kind of like stammer, and there's this like circle that appears around their head, and then you either like shield bash them or hit them with a flail or kick them. It doesn't seem as tailored to individual demons. It doesn't seem to be like as much of a spectacle. And I'm kind of wondering if I'm gonna miss the glory kills or if this is just an improvement gameplay wise. But other than that, everything else about just the way traversal works in this game, which seems to be less of, which is I'm very okay with. Um, the different new guns, the different new enemy types, just the way you know attack in general. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be very, very fun.
I mean, it sounds like it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's coming out on May 15th. So
Won't be
cool.
long now.
Yeah, something very funny is, you know how Microsoft basically gave up with the whole console race thing, and they've been releasing some of their games on PlayStation. This was the first big like Xbox specific presentation where they said this game is coming to Xbox, PlayStation, and PC in the presentation. It was like day one on Game Pass, Xbox, PC, and PS5. Like, what wow, you just said that. Because usually, whenever Sony announces a game in their presentation, and it is a third party game coming to everything, in the presentation they'll just say, coming this fall to PlayStation 5, and then later the press release will say coming to everything, but the trailer that you initially saw it will say PlayStation. Whereas here, the Xbox presentation is shouting out PlayStation. Like that's interesting. So,
I mean, better for the consumer. I'll take it.
Yeah, it is. It just, I don't know. It just feels like an end of an era to know that, Microsoft is now full. Like, it's not like it's a Halo or Gears of War, one of their like, big franchises. So it's not like every Xbox game is coming to everything, but this is a studio that they wholly own, and they are promoting the competition directly in their big presentation. It just, it's just, I don't know, bittersweet might be the best word for it, because I like competition. I like having three different pillars of the core gaming, like at least console experience. Just if for no other reason, just to keep Sony humble, because they've been winning the past several times when you just compare directly to Xbox. So I would like for Xbox to keep trying, but considering that their new pitch is everything that has a screen is an Xbox because it could play Game Pass and xCloud, I don't know if there's going to be a next Xbox at this point, or they'll just be like PlayStation, I maybe Switch 2 or whatever. We'll be able to just play Game Pass on that and call it a day. Who knows?
I mean, well, yeah. You say you don't think there would be another Xbox almost?
I'm like exactly 50-50 on my predictions. Like, I would not bet on there being one, but also I wouldn't be surprised if there were. But
I mean, I don't think they're just gonna completely fold the console.
I mean, their numbers keep going down year on year,
I mean,
and they keep promoting other ways to play the games that used to be exclusive to the console on PC and PlayStation now.
But you think they're just gonna not make another one?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like at least one more. I mean, there's no. I mean, it's kind of like the movie theater thing. Like, yes, they're dying, but I don't think they're gone in a year or two. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, that's a good point.
They're still got a ways to go. They're still running on fumes for a while. I think Xbox is the same way.
Yeah. It could just be that Microsoft as an entity makes so much money that it doesn't really matter how much money Xbox makes or doesn't make. Obviously, they want for it to make money, but I don't know how much the Xbox box specifically is like elevating the business model, but who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the last little thing I have here is a little game I created called Did It Make the Switch? Now, with the Switch 2 coming out later this year, I wanted to look back on all the games that did come out on the Nintendo Switch and just go over like some of the major Nintendo franchises and just, ask you, did this franchise make the Switch? Was there a wholly new game released for the system. No remake, remaster, port, like
Oh,
an
okay.
entirely new game. So, for
Okay.
example, was there a new Smash Bros. Game?
So no, because wait. No, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry. I
Ultimate
no,
is.
I
Yeah.
I was thinking Mario Kart in my head. I don't know why, but like no, there was because there was the Smash on Wii U.
Mm. But this is a brand new one thing. And it's not that
Right.
Smash Ryu was terrible, but like, this is a much better game.
Right, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But you were on the right track, pun intended, because next up is Mario Kart. Was there a brand new Mario Kart?
No.
So, kind of technically, yes.
What? Wait. How?
So you're right thinking that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was like the main Mario Kart for the system. However, there was I think it's like 2021 maybe there was this weird thing called Mario Kart Live, which was a game where you literally like use your Switch to control like real life race cars, like actual like Mario Kart, to like
What?
drive around your home. So
Oh, like the little toy things?
yeah, you
Does
actually use
that
your Switch to control
count?
that. Yeah.
What?
It
Oh
doesn't
my
really.
god.
I just thought
A
for the
friend of
purpose
mine
of the game,
actually
I thought
did
it would be
have
funny.
that.
So
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. The technicalities.
I would definitely not call it a mainline Mario Kart. Like you won't. It's not like let's assume Tour doesn't exist. It's not like Mario Kart 8 and then Mario Kart Live. They're not calling the next one Mario Kart 10. They're not counting that. But you know.
I
Next up, was there a brand new Yoshi game?
don't remember hearing about a Yoshi game, but I don't think I would know if another one was announced, honestly, especially because Switch has been out for a while, and I wasn't really paying attention to Switch games until I got one myself, which
Right.
was only
That's
like
kind of
two
why I thought
years
it was gonna
ago.
be fun because yeah, like before
Yeah,
2021 or two, you didn't really care.
yeah, I have no
So,
idea, honestly. I'm gonna say no. I feel like they got a remake, but probably not a new game.
I like your train of thought, but they did. Yoshi's Crafted World came out in 2018, I
Yeah, see,
think.
never would have known about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is
Yeah,
it
it was
any good?
announced.
I've never
I
heard of
haven't
that.
played it. I don't care about Yoshi games.
Well, then.
It was announced at E3 2017, and then came out the next year. Was there a brand new Star Fox game?
There's got to be a no, right? There's no way. Was
That's right.
there?
There was not.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm like, I feel like that would have been huge news.
Hmm. There was this. There was this game by Ubisoft called Starlink Battle for Atlas, which is actually a pretty cool little like space fighter jet like game where the idea was like you have a real life little figurines that you like put stuff together and like scan it into the game, and then that is the ship that you play in the game. um I do think that was a little too complicated for this new IP. You should have just like Skylanders had been dead for multiple years by the time this came out, so I feel like you kind of missed the boat on something like that. But regardless, the concept of a spacefaring game made by Ubisoft theoretically could be enticing. Um, but honestly, the main sell of that game is that if you bought it on Switch, there was a Star Fox crossover where you had a little R-wing figurine that, like, once you scan in, you unlock the Fox levels of it on your Switch. So there was Star Fox content on the Switch, but not a game called Star Fox something. So
Huh.
yeah, if that team still exists, which knowing Ubisoft, it probably doesn't, but if that team still exists and Nintendo wants them to make a new Star Fox game, that'd be neat.
Yeah.
Was there a new Bayonetta game?
Yes.
Yes, there was.
Yes. I do remember
At
hearing about that.
at Game Awards 2017, they announced Bayonetta 3, they're like, tide you over in the meantime. They'll be releasing Bayonetta 1 and 2 in a dual pack the following month. So, and then it was like 4 years later before Bayonetta 2 actually, 3 actually came out, but Bayonetta 3 did come out on Switch. What about
Okay.
Pikmin?
Yeah, Pikmin 4, right?
Yes. Pikmin
Yeah.
4 came out last year? I think that was 2024. I'm sorry,
I
yeah,
think
myself.
so.
Either 3 or 4. I'm pretty sure it was 4.
Maybe. Yeah, it was recent. Like I might have been late 3 actually, now that I think about it. I don't know.
Yeah, but regardless, Pikmin 4 did come out. Was there a new Wii Fit game or like
Oh.
something in the vein of Wii Fit? In the same way how like there was that
Um,
Switch sports game that was called like Wii
yeah.
Sports but on the Switch. Was there some kind of fitness game in the same vein as Wii Fit?
Oh, that's a good question. I, you know what? I'm gonna say no, because that doesn't sound. I don't think so.
That's right. There was this game called Ring Fit Adventure, um, which was a game where you like put your Joy Cons in this big ring thing, and like the idea is actually you put one in this ring and one like on a strap on your leg, and you like run, and the character in the game will run, and like you have to like push and pull on the ring to make the character like shoot or like jump or like do certain things. Um,
Hmm.
it was like actually has like a kind of in depth like RPG mechanic. Like it's actually like a pretty seems like a fun game that I would play if it wasn't tied to the whole fitness part of it. Um, not that I don't like. I like running outside. I don't really like doing stuff. But regardless, that's not the same thing as the Wii balance board, Wii Fit type
Yeah,
thing.
that's what I was thinking. So I'm like, I feel like that was too specific to the for Wii to have like a Switch version.
Yeah. Okay, so with the Switch being Nintendo's new console and their handheld, um, they theoretically would have incorporated any of the uh, Pokemon spin-offs games that were usually exclusive to the handheld. Did a new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon make the Switch?
I should know this, but I don't. Um, you know what? We're gonna say yes.
Unfortunately, no.
No, dang
No.
it.
A remake of the Rescue series from the Game Boy released a week before COVID. It was like March 6th or something. Like it was like literally the
Yo,
week before. Um,
yo.
and like that was really exciting. I really liked the art style they were going for. I think that game like really was a culmination of all the things that they have been like trying with some of the more recent uh mystery dungeon games, but like didn't quite execute well. And then this game like really felt like a modern version of those of that game from the Game Boy. And then it's been 5 years and they haven't made a new one. So unfortunately, no. And that's kind of the case for a lot of like Pokemon spin-off stuff outside of like Pokemon Snap. There haven't really been a lot of like legacy spin-off games. I would
Mm-hmm.
have liked a Rumble or Ranger, or there's a couple of other spin-offs that that should exist, but oh well. Was there a new F-Zero game?
Oh, no way.
Kind of technically there was.
Wait, what?
um, a game called F-Zero 99, where it was a is a free game on the Nintendo eShop where you and 99 other players all were racing on classic tracks like from the original F-Zero game. And like if you spin out or lose, or like if you spin out you lose and you can't play anymore. It's basically in this like long running series of 99 style games that Nintendo has where they don't want to commit to a full on like battle royale, but they like the idea of having like this classic game with battle royale elements. There's a Tetris one, there's a Pac-Man one, there was a Mario one, but for some reason that was taken offline, and then there's F-Zero 99. So it's kind of technically a new game.
Is it though?
No, not really. But for the purposes of this game, I thought it was funny to say yes.
Fine. You just want me to lose, don't you?
No, I would never. This would be an easy one. Was there a new Kid Icarus?
Oh crap. So you say easy one like I'm supposed to know that very easily, and I immediately don't. But I feel like not. No.
If there was, I would talk about it literally every single week, but there is not.
That's fair. I was about to say I'm really basing this off of, have I heard anything about this game outside of maybe you've heard of this character in Smash? And I'm like, I don't remember anyone talking about, like, I feel like there would have been a lot of news about that.
Yeah, Kid Icarus Uprising came out on the 3DS. I think it was 2012. And there hasn't been a new one since, even though that game is amazing. I know it was developed by Sakurai, who was also makes the Smash games. I know he's been busy, but we don't need a new Smash immediately once Switch comes out. You can have a Kid Icarus or something like that in the meantime. We'll see. Has a new 2D Metroid game come out for the Switch. Not counting Prime, that's still coming.
Okay.
A new 2D
that's immediately where I was going. I was like, ha, that's a trick. No. But then no, I would say.
Actually, yes. Metroid Dread came out in 2021.
Oh, duh. Yeah. Wait. Oh, you said 2D.
Yes.
I thought you said 3D.
No, I said 2D. Sorry.
I thought you meant like, I don't know why I thought first person, not 2D. I don't know why I got that wrong.
That's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. But yes, I knew that.
I believe you. Has a new 2D Kirby game come out for the Switch?
Yes.
Yes.
It was I forgot what it was called, but it was like, wait, isn't it Kirby's like something dessert or meal or something like that, right?
There's been a couple of like Kirby spin-off games that what is that called? Dream Course? Something. But I know what you're thinking of, but that's not what I'm thinking of. Like that's like a weird party game. There was Kirby Star Allies came out in 2018. And then Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which was the first ever 3D Kirby game, which is very good, about in 2022, I think. Probably. Yeah, 22. And then, a couple other like weird spin-offs. But yes, there was a 2D Kirby game.
Okay.
Did a new game in the Punch-Out series make the Switch?
Nah.
No. The game ARMS came out like a couple months after the Switch launched in 2017, but Punch-Out did not. Did a new Donkey Kong game make the Switch?
Like Donkey Kong Country?
Yes.
I feel like there was one, wasn't there? Or am I completely wrong? Yeah, final answer is yes.
No. There were two different ports. One from Tropical Freeze, that was a Wii U game, got ported to the Switch in 2018. And then
Okay.
Returns, which is the Wii game, which got ported to the 3DS in like 2011, and then it got ported to the 2013, whatever. And then it got ported to the Switch last week.
Oh
So
dang. Okay.
yeah, and those are the only two Donkey Kong games that have come out in the last 15 years. So, um,
Oh.
yeah, even though both games are incredible and they both sold pretty well on the Switch, there has been no new Donkey Kong game. Mostly because Retro Studios, the people that made them, have been busy making Metroid Prime 4 for the past 8 years. So,
Mm.
yeah. Okay. Next up, we have the Mario Sports Gauntlet. There were a lot of Mario Sports games that came out for the Switch, so you have to tell me
Mm.
which of these did. Mario
Okay.
Strikers.
Yeah, I own that game.
Okay, yeah, Battle League.
Yeah. Game's epic.
Mario Baseball.
I don't think it came for the Switch.
Nope, there hasn't been one since
Yeah,
the
because
Wii.
I would have bought that too.
Mhm. Mario Golf.
Yes.
Yes, Mario Golf Super Rush.
Hmm.
Kind of like 2022 or something. Mario Basketball.
I don't even know. No, I'm gonna say no. I don't know.
That's right. No, I don't think there's ever been a Mario Basketball.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I know there was basketball on Mario Sports Mix on the
Hmm.
Wii, but I
Hmm.
don't think there's ever been like a Mario basketball game straight
Yeah,
up.
that's right. Mario Tennis.
Yes.
Yes. Mario Tennis Aces, I think like 2019. And the last game I have on here, was there a new Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games?
Maybe. I'm like, did we? I mean, because that feels like there wasn't, but I feel like there was. Was there? Yes.
Yes, there was.
Okay.
Um, Something really funny about how this happened. So the Mario, Sonic, and Olympic Games always come out like the year before. For some reason, always come out the year before the Olympic Games happen. Or at least it did this time. Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo Olympic Games came out in late 2019 in preparation for the Olympics for 2020. And then the Olympics for 2020 didn't happen. They got delayed 2021. um, which is kind of like kind of upsetting because the pitch for the Tokyo Olympics, like Mario was literally a part of, like, actually Miyamoto I think was also a part of like the announcement trailer for the Tokyo Olympics after the Olympics from 2016. So I don't know like how involved Nintendo was originally going to be with the Tokyo Olympic Games, but because they were heavily scaled back due to still ongoing COVID regulations in 2021. There wasn't really like much at all like grandiose about those Olympics. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but regardless, uh, like that Mario and Sonic Olympic Games did not do all that well because like there ended up not being an Olympics that year. Um, I don't know if it was because of that or if there were some other reasons, but after that game, the Olympics, whoever runs the Olympics, decided for whatever reason that they're going to stop. Uh, they're going to not renew their license with Nintendo to make future Olympic games. So as of right now, the Mario and Sonic Olympic Game Series is done. So
Okay.
yeah, but there was the last one was for the Tokyo one.
Okay, that makes sense. So they're going forward. They're supposedly done.
Yeah, I think like something in the press release said something about they're looking at other opportunities to make Olympic games that like no one else is gonna no other Olympics style game is gonna be as successful as one with Mario and Sonic in it. So I don't know what they're thinking there, but whatever. Um, I do kind of hope that the relationship between Mario and Sonic can continue in some capacity in some other form. I don't necessarily think there needs to be like a crossover platformer game, but some other style of game that can have those universes crossover would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that's everything I have for you. Is there anything else you want to bring up or discuss before we sign off?
I do not. No.
Okay, so with that, we will see you all next time.
Take care.